I mean, it's a historic game for our program. I told the team in the locker room we had Marcus Foster in there and Ryan Hawkins are back there on break from overseas. And it's really a culmination of a lot of work by a lot of people over a long period of time to give these guys the opportunity to wear this uniform and play in front of the crowd we were able to play in front of tonight. I just couldn't be more proud of them. The offense is one thing, but what they did defensively as well to limit Caravan and Spencer to 1 for 5 from the 3-point line is a really credit to our guys and their discipline, their focus. And even when we got off to that bad start, I didn't see any fear, no concern in our faces. We just, continue to play. So we talked about rebounding. We found a way to be even there. And we talked about live ball turnovers and, only 7 turnovers. There are 9 turnovers. So we played a really, really good game, and we beat an incredible team, a team that has a legitimate chance to win a national championship. But we're pretty good as well.
Questions for the student athletes first.
Yeah, this is for the All-Star. You came to Creighton for moments like this.
It's from Salt Lake City, actually.
All right, it's going through your mind.
Right now. Honestly, I mean, I do have to give a shout out to my nephew. He's 2.5, and he was born with a brain aneurysm. And my older brother and sister-in-law were hoping to be at this game, but he needed an emergency surgery, and unexpectedly he's going to be in the hospital for a few more weeks dealing with that. And so tonight I wrote his name, Clayton, on my wrist, and our family was obviously having him in our hearts and minds a lot. And so to be able to have a game like this against a high-caliber team like that, just grateful to God for those experiences, those opportunities. And big shout-out to my boy Clay, and I know he's going to keep fighting, and he's doing good.
Jasen, as an Omaha kid, to be a part of the first win over an AP #1 team in history and to make the plays that you did, how much pride do you feel right now?
I feel a lot of pride right now. I mean, being born and raised here, and just being able to play in front of my hometown, all the people I grew up with. I had a bunch of my friends at this game. Like, my whole family was at this game, and just being able to play, have a performance like that, especially against the #1 team in the country, and making history like this, it's just such an unbelievable feeling, and I'm just filled with pride.
Stevie, can you take us through that stretch in the first half? I mean, you guys collectively couldn't miss for those few minutes, but it seemed like whatever look you got, you liked, and then you obviously made them as well.
Yeah, obviously when you're in your home gym, there's just a feeling of confidence, and the fans were a huge part of that tonight. They were definitely a home court advantage, and so I think in that first half we got on a little heater. And a big thing for us coming into this second matchup against them was that we needed to rebound the ball, and especially get live ball rebounds so that we could try to push and transition. Too many times last game there was a lot of tip outs, and that was slowing our transition break. And so I think during that stretch we got a lot of stops in a row, and then guys are so unselfish in the transition, and we made plays for each other, and I think that's a credit to having 18 assists to only 7 turnovers, and so it was super fun, and it's just an incredible experience to be in a place like CHI when you're going to run like that.
You go down 7-0 to start off, and then I think 11-3. What was the conversation in that huddle, and what was the mentality to just stick with it and go on the run that you did in the first half?
I mean, a lot of it was that we've been there before. Teams have jumped on us before. It's nothing new. Keep the things that we're trying to focus on at the forefront, one play at a time, one possession at a time. And it's nice in college basketball when you get 4-minute media timeouts. You can focus on, all right, let's try to win this next 4, try to win the next 4. And I think that especially in that first half, after their great start, we're able to re-lock in and focus on that. And I think the tide's changed for us.
Spencer had 6 points on 8 shots. What were you able to execute out there to make him just not really much of an option offensively for them?
I mean, great scouting from all the coaching staff to the red team to getting us prepared so that we knew what plays were coming and what we needed to do to execute on defense. And then, I mean, you got to give a huge credit to Trey and Kalk trying to guard that ball screen 2-on-2 because we weren't really helping off their other guys, and they did a really good job, which allowed us to stay attached and not lose their great shooters in the flow of the offense. And so it's a huge team effort when things like that happen. And I think as we watch the film, we'll be able to learn from some of those things for sure.
Jasen, how big was it for you to just kind of see your minutes increase over the past couple of weeks? I don't think you played much Saturday, and then to be able to bounce back and have the impact you did tonight.
So it means a lot to me. I mean, I know it's all just a big process. I just have to keep my head down and keep working and keep doing what I need to do to get my minutes, and I know that they'll eventually come. But, I mean, it just – like I know some games I might not get in as much as other games, but I trust the coaches. I trust what they're doing. I trust my teammates. I trust everything that's going on. So, I mean – with me, I just have to stay focused, stay locked in, and just be ready whenever my name is called. Simple as that.
What kind of work went into having the confidence to take and make those threes tonight when that's not something you've done yet as a Blue Jay?
Right. So it's just like every day after practice, DK grabs a bunch of our coach DK grabs a bunch of players, and we'll just shoot. We'll do like race to the corner, lift, drift back to the corner, stuff like that. So I mean, it's just after every practice, and we also do shooting drills during practice, which helps me get prepared. And every rep has got to be a game rep, and I mean, out there it clearly showed that that was working. So.
2 more for the minutes.
What was the ending like for both of you guys? Walk us through what you were doing and what went through your mind as they poured onto the court.
I mean, once that buzzer was like starting to go off, I mean, it was even before that. I kind of knew that the game was over with probably about a minute left. But I mean, I was just really excited because it's our first ever win over a number 1 seed, and like, obviously I've only been here for 2 years, but I can just feel how important that is to everyone that's here and everyone that's been here and the people that preceded me on the teams and things like that. So I mean, it was just a crazy feeling for me.
Hey, Steven, you shot. You had a long 3-pointer to start like a personal 13-point run of yours there in the first half. Was that a heat check or what was that? Because how far do you think you were out on that one?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I only hit one before taking that, so I wouldn't quite call it a heat check. There were a few others that were heat checks, but like Jasen said, there's a lot of practice that goes into those moments. And Coach Matt gave me a hard time the other day about he asked me to do a certain drill, and I did the drill pretty well. I'll let him tell you what drill it was. But then I asked him, what else should I do? And he said, well, if I did that well, I might go into the locker room, or you can practice some of these flyers that you like to take in transition from 30 feet. And so I did. I practiced some of those, and I think that was the fruits of that practice.
Thank you, guys.
Good job.
Thanks, y'all.
Good job, Jason.
Tough start. I mean, they got going. They were probably looked pretty comfortable. They forced a couple turnovers. They were getting on the offensive glass. How much did Faulkner stabilize things with just scoring at the rim?
he always stabilizes things. He's so impactful back there, just like Klingon is. Like it's, but we kind of told our guys, like, don't do it. We're not challenging that dude at the rim. We did at their place. He smacked a couple off the board, or Samson did as well, or Samson Johnson, and that turns into a transition basket for him. So we were very specific in our preparation that we're not challenging them at the rim. If we can pull them away from the basket, so be it. But Kalk was awesome for us back there.
Coach, pretty quickly to get your 600th win. What do you just reflect on, and what would you tell yourself after win number 1 if you were to look at where you're at right now?
First of all, I'm old. You've got to be in it a long time to coach enough games to do that. And I've coached at some good places. Had some really good players play for me. Obviously this is one I'll never forget because of how it transpired and how good the team was we were playing. One of the best crowds I think that we've ever had here. But as I said earlier, there's a lot of guys that have played for me here that have put us in a position to win a lot of games because they sacrifice, and not everybody wants to play the game the way that we play it, unselfish and selfless, and but we've got a group here that's pretty bought into that.
How big do you look at what Jasen was able to do? I mean, it was just impacts all over the floor, step outs, threes.
Yeah, he's continued to get better, and he's stayed with himself. And obviously, some tough times when you're not playing and you're on the scout team, and but as I've told him, during that time. You just got to keep working. It's a process. And he didn't play much at Butler. The matchups I just didn't feel were great. But I texted him the other night and said, hey, you got to get ready. You're going to have a chance to shine in this game, because I just felt Caravan, rebounding, defense was going to be so important in this game. And I mean, the play he made when he fell down and blocked that three-point shot, I mean, one of the better hustle plays. I remember Ricky Krecklow making an incredible one years ago, and you remember the play. But that one was right there with that. He ran his tail off and came in and blocked a shot at a critical time.
Now, can you talk about Stephen's defense and how far that's come and what he did to Cam Spencer?
It's incredible. Even when you watch in preparation, you watch the last UConn game, and he did a good job on Spencer and that probably started his belief in his ability to be able to do this. But to be able to, Spencer never stops. So that means Stephen never stops, and yet he's got to run the team, and he's got to make shots, and he's got to, once again get 3 assists and only 1 turnover against one of the best defenses in the country. He's just, and what you see is what you get. I mean, the guy doesn't have bad days. He's a great leader. He's been a great fit for this group, and I'm really proud of how he's progressed and and how he fought through trying to figure out where are these shots coming from, what's my role in this team need to be. But I don't think his belief in himself ever wavered, and I know my belief in him has never wavered.
Right. You made a lot of history at Creighton. You talked about this being a historic game. What does this game mean?
I mean, it means a lot just because we've never done it. We had an opportunity there when they were ranked number 1. We didn't play very well. I know we played Villanova a couple times when they were number 1, probably Gonzaga once. But, to finally do something, anytime you do something nobody's done, I mean, it's something these guys will never forget. It's something that every fan that was here tonight is never going to forget, the enthusiasm and the passion that was in that building tonight. So, and, I'm already looking, one game at a time, but we're at the stage of the season where every win matters as you prepare for the Big East tournament and the NCAA tournament. You want to position yourself as best you can, but that crowd was absolutely incredible. We've had some good ones, and I think of senior night for Doug and Grant, Jahans, Ethan was pretty special, but it was rocking in there tonight, every bit as good as it was that night.
Did it make a difference that it was UConn defending national champs too? And maybe, do you guys really know maybe how good you are this year?
I mean, we've always believed we're pretty good, and we lost 2 starters, so we brought in a transfer, and Mason's progressed, and Jasen's now progressing. Bello's playing a different role. That it takes time, and basketball is not perfect, and we beat the number 1 team. Were they at their best tonight? No, probably not. When they watched the film, did it have something to do with us? Absolutely. Purdue loses at Ohio State. It happens. Those are 2 really good teams that a lot of people think are going to play for a national championship. But it's a make shot, miss shot game. And, our defense, I thought, made them take the shots that we wanted them to take. And they didn't make a lot of them. And, we made some threes. Jasen knocks in a couple. So, I'm just – to score 85 points in 58 possessions against that defense, that's pretty special.
Does this change your opinion of maybe how good you are going forward? Especially if
I've never had an opinion that we weren't very good going forward. That's fans' job and media job. No, I'm not surprised we won this game. And UConn has been on an amazing run, and we're pretty good at offense. We're pretty good at defense, and I got some tough guys in that locker room as well. And we beat a heck of a team. We beat a great program that obviously they're doing all the right things to be where they're at, to win a national championship last year and now be back in a position as a 1 seed with a bunch of new faces is a credit to Coach Hurley and what they're doing at UConn to make sure their program's at a championship level.
Hey, Mike, did you feel like you guys, just the way you've been playing the last week or 10 days, that you might have been set up pretty well to win this game just because of the flow you've been in?
I don't know if you ever, when I watched that Marquette UConn game, I got to admit I wasn't feeling real warm and fuzzy about our chances. But offensively, we've found our flow a little bit better, especially in transition. And while we only had 4 fast break points tonight, a lot of it was secondary stuff, maybe not in the first 5 or 6 seconds, but it's an advantage that we created in the first 5 or 6 seconds that led to a pass or another pass that got us an open shot. So while it's not credited as fast break points, we had a lot that we got because we got out, we got stops, and we were able to put some pressure on them. And again, the fact that we played without Baylor for 8 or 9 minutes the first half and we're able to stretch the lead, real credit to this group.
Just to go back to the game real quick, I know it didn't end things by any means, but how much of a pop do you feel like Mason's play at the beginning of the second half, just to allow you guys to throw the first punch and separate even further? How much does that affect?
Yeah, I mean, he got behind the defense and got the layup, and then we had drawn up a design play. I mean, to be honest with you, Jasen played so well. My thought was we're probably going back to Jasen pretty quick. So while Mason's in there, let's get him a shot because he's great at it. And we executed it great. He hit the shot at the top of the key, so then we rolled with him a little longer. But after not playing great the first half, I thought he was hugely impactful to start that second half.
Thank you.
Rob, I'll talk about this all night if they want to talk about it. I'm not in any hurry to go anywhere.
I guess you mentioned not trying to challenge Sampson and Donovan, but you guys have made some really great selfish plays along the baseline to find the other side of the floor and kind of get them rotating.
Especially when they started to run us off the three-point line after we hit them. We got into the seams and were able to make a pass that usually led to the assist. But I'm proud of our guys. It's hard to attack the rim and in your mind know that Mac's going to go berserk if you shoot that shot against Klingen. But, we drew him, we shot faked, we pass faked, and we're able to play downhill as a result.
Mac, did you get caught up in the storm?
I did, and I got the hell out of there. I'm too old, but it's great to see. I mean, our students were here early. They were into it from the jump. And like I said, the crowd was absolutely incredible. It's a night that our guys will never forget.
What do you think of the adjustment to sing the national anthem when they?
Hey, you adapt and adjust, man. If something doesn't work, you go to Plan B. So I felt bad for the guy that was out there. Hopefully, we get him back here and give him another shot. Thanks.
Thanks, Mac.
Just kind of ran into a buzzsaw there. Thought we started pretty well. Thought we were in a pretty good place. Obviously, Donovan picking up that second foul, I think, affected us a little bit. But, when you really looked at it, it was a really vulnerable position to be in at halftime. I think Baylor was scoreless, and Farabello and Green. And obviously Ashworth's performance today. I mean, he's been playing great for them, and he was a major focus of ours to try to take away the three-point line from him. But obviously, we did a bad job. But we've been on obviously we've had a great run, but it just kind of felt like today just ran into them playing great and us not playing as well as we need to versus them here in Omaha.
Ashworth kind of took the top off your defense a little bit there, especially in the first half. What did you guys lose him as much, do you think? And how did
they're a much different offensive team here at home. I don't know what the splits are, road, home, but I think part of it is they're an excellent offensive team. Part of it were I think I think we had individual players that's poor offense was affecting their ability to guard at the defensive end of the court. So I think we lost them a couple times when we shouldn't have, and then they executed a couple times and and got them shots.
I mean, when you played them again, well, it's probably might have been your best defensive effort of the season.
Yeah.
Tonight is complete.
Yeah, and listen, they're hard to guard. I mean, you've got 3 of the best players at their position in college basketball, or at least amongst them, with Ashworth, who's playing like a much different player, but then, you obviously, Green makes 2 threes. I don't think he's made a 3 this year coming into the game. Farabello, probably the question about Creighton is bench production, And obviously, today they 14-4'd us at bench points. So I think it had more to do with them. I think when we see the film, we're going to see the mistakes we made. But I think that they made almost everything they looked at.
And offensively, the last game against them wasn't a great shooting night for you guys either. Just what is it about their defense that makes it so difficult to find open shots?
Yeah, I think they got a really good defensive scheme. I think there were, opportunities for us to pull the trigger. Kalkbrenner, Ryan's a tough guy to finish at the rim. I don't know. We shot 44%. Which on the road with how we defend would generally be, maybe good enough for us to be in the game. But we ran into a team that obviously the environment and the opportunity and they caught us tonight.
It had been so long since you've lost a game or even really had a whole lot of adversity.
Yeah.
Did you see the guys, in the huddles? Did they still have that, killer instinct that they were going to come back? Was there anything you could take from them?
Well, we were in uncharted waters in terms of the volume of of adversity that we were dealing with. Probably the last time was maybe the Seton Hall game when Donovan went down, I do think we did a bad job coaching tonight. Our players did a bad job playing. I did a bad job coaching. And your huddles aren't going to be, super energized when you haven't lost in 2+ months, and this doesn't happen to us very often. So we were definitely stunned. This wasn't the game we expected. We knew this was a dangerous game and a quality opponent and one of the better teams in the country. But we didn't expect this to happen.
Did Kalkbrenner create more indecisiveness on downhill drives than is typical for your playmakers tonight?
I want to go. You know what? What they do is it's so unique. They umbrella the three guys that aren't involved in the ball screen game, and it really puts your roller and the guard on ball in an uncomfortable position. I think we did a poor job of cutting and moving with those other three. But I don't, Tristan was involved in most of it, and Tristan was basically the only guy that probably played well tonight. So that might have been the thing that was maybe the least of our problems. Most of our issues were at the defensive end.
Anything else for Coach?
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Coach.